August 2024 will see Mercury retrograde in Leo. Mercury entered Leo, the fire sign of pleasure and creativity, July 14th. Due to his retrograde motion, Mercury will stay on for an extended length of time until September 21st. As the Lord of Communication, Mercury in Leo bestows a gift of eloquence and the skill of leading others. However, when Mercury slows down, these qualities become reversed. The sunny disposition of Leo darkens and swings toward moodiness. Leaders on the political stage will become boastful, arrogant, and combative. There will be an unwillingness to collaborate amongst individuals, becoming self-centered and stubborn. Egos will get in the way of progress, causing important communications to falter. In the best scenarios, Mercury retrograde in Leo will cut down the egos of the most arrogant individuals, causing them to see their flaws and bring them down a peg or two. Humility and the ability to see beyond one's point of view will help everyone this month. This is not the time to be argumentative, egotistical, or narrow-minded, but to take in the feedback of others, listen to others, and take in the details. August 2024 is the time to slow down one's own judgments, seek to improve one's skills and gain further mastery of one's talents, learn what they can about themselves, and practice due diligence and discernment in order to know what is good and undo oneself of the bad, and overcome one's weaknesses by transmuting them into strengths. The Numerology of August 2024 reduces to 16 the vibration of the tarot card of the Tower of Awakening. Mercury retrograde in the fiery passions of Leo will burn down the status quo of our lives through a clear flash of understanding, bringing awareness of the true nature of the self. Erroneous ideas will be knocked out of our minds like a bolt of lightning, striking our crown chakras out of the blue, bringing a flash of enlightenment that liberates the mind of ignorance, illusions, and lies. This number vibration of 16 will help everyone receive a flash of illumination that awakens each of us to our true source, putting us face to face with our fears. But in a flash of understanding, seeing past them as well, realizing our fears were places where our ignorance dwelled. Liberated of ignorance and fear, we are awakened to a greater and truer understanding of life, ourselves, and destinies. In August 2024, these illuminating insights will reveal the emptiness of a selfish, materialistic approach to life, and how the spark of the intuitive and creative force within can guide to a happier and more fortunate future. In many ways, August 2024, even though it is the 8th month of the year, will act like a fresh start, a New Year's Day in a sense, but all month long. When the Sun is in Leo August 10th through September 16th, the very ruler of Leo will help us to cultivate our personal willpower. The Sun is happiest in Leo and will help each of us to keep our feet on the path of higher learning, endowing each of us with the power to hear our inner voice and even warn us of dangers and losses through our dreams. Our strongest beliefs will shine along with our sense of responsibility to our personal improvement, our family, and homes. This will be a great time to clean your home and take command of your life by taking initiative where you have not and being more independent, especially in a material sense. There is going to be a great energy spurt this month with the Sun and Mercury retrograde in Leo, endowing each of us with the ability to hear the advice of our inner self, while taking it slow and steady, as there will be sudden and unforeseen events that are intended to overthrow existing conditions. Mars will be a driving force of these energies, as he will be in Taurus until September 4th. Since July 11th, Mars has awakened the basic desires that guide each of our hearts. turning them away from the material and toward the spirit and mind. Mars also rules over the numerology vibration of August 2024 of 16 and the Tower of Awakening. Inside the human body, Mars rules over the very mechanism through which we attain awakenings, illumination, and the highest attainment of enlightenment, which is the Kundalini. It is once the Kundalini, or Mars force, is awakened deep in the tip of the spine, in the coccyx, that it can finally begin to rise, traverse the 33 vertebrae and number of the Masonic degrees, and arrive in the head region. Once there, the final illumination of awakening inside the pineal gland of the Sahasrara crown chakra takes place. So, while the month of August 2024, with the intense fires of Mercury retrograde in Leo, presents major unforeseen challenges and sudden setbacks, there is the potential to transmute these energies to manifest a higher sense of self-confidence, independence, and spiritual consciousness, resulting in the best expression of your creativity and perhaps even activating your pineal gland to see into the very nature of God. Venus will make us all desire improvements as she transits Leo, with Mercury retrograde encouraging us to take a deep look in the mirror and in our lives in order to make material changes. Venus in Leo from July 26th through August 23rd will have us inspired to take on these sudden unforeseen events head on and take control over them in order to make the necessary changes by listening to our hearts. Venus will transit Leo alongside the Sun and Mercury specifically for 13 days from August 11th through the 23rd, making these days of August 2024 a time to truly listen to your heart and express yourself rather than repress yourself. Venus will reconnect us with our inner child and make us seek a happy ending to every unforeseen change, test, and challenge that arises. Venus will balance these uncertain times with a marvelous optimism that only a transit through Leo can. Her zest for life will make us seek to self-actualize our best self, and rather than desire material gain, Venus in Leo will make us strive for the riches of our creativity, so our heart's true desires are manifested. Leo makes us be true to our hearts, and together with Venus, Leo will have us live as an act of heart-based creation, heartfelt self-expression, and bold self-love. Even better is the fact that Jupiter will be in Taurus, the bull. Taurus was never a true bull, but Jupiter Zeus himself, and he just so happens to also be in Taurus with Mars, Neptune, and a waning quarter moon on August 26th. Jupiter with Mars will act like electricity, electrifying our careers, love lives, money acquisition, social standings, and community reforms. And best of all, having God reborn in us, so truly we are born again. No need to change anything about our true natures and self either, just letting go of the old standards. Thanks to Uranus, the Lord of individuality, independent thought, and self-realization, transiting Taurus with Mars and Jupiter, there will be no one who knows what is best for you better than you, who speaks to God for you better than you, who thinks, does, follows the will of God as you should, better than you. Jupiter in Taurus will indicate the practical approaches with which you can fulfill your destiny and self-actualize your best self and wealth. Jupiter will show you how to transmute the sudden changes of August 2024 into chances for economic progress, success, and growth through tangible and practical means. Taurus is a steady, persistent, and grounded sign. So Jupiter's electrifying powers will show you how to turn losses into profits, laziness into initiative, and failures into gains. Everyone will benefit, as Jupiter in Taurus requires no seed money or angel investors, as all you will need is what is already at your disposal and whatever resources are already present in your life. With Jupiter in Taurus, you can turn a penny into abundance, even illness into the wealth of health. Set your eyes on greater prosperity, and there where you focus your mind's attention, Jupiter in Taurus will increase. Just be sure it is the good and not the bad upon which your mind's attention is focused, in yourself and upon others. Uranus in Taurus will make sure you follow your own path. Whatever rules or expectations are being thrust on you and imposing limitations, Uranus will help you break out of them. With Uranus in Taurus, you will challenge your status quo and desire to be your own revolutionary, to make your sense of self the highest authority in your life. Verily, Uranus in Taurus makes each of us desire to be kings and queens of our domains in regard to our homes, finances, and our bodies. All of us will seek to expand our horizons, and the urge to break any chains keeping us bound will be stronger than ever. Uranus is the lord of shock and awe, the very means by which revolutions happen. Jupiter, the lord of expansion, increase, and gain, while Mars, the lord of ambition, determination, and initiative. Together, the conjunction of these three juggernauts will focus our sights on asserting our true inner voice, driving our ambitions to climb higher, and if we have to, abandon it all, leaving what was in the past in order to move on to make the ideal futures we envision for ourselves a reality. Taurus is associated with the physical world, the earth element, artistry, and money. So the triple power action of Jupiter, Uranus, and Mars will work to transform our lives from their current states with a grounded approach inspired by beauty. Every one of us will experience a metamorphosis of our physical beings into the higher spiritual and mental realms of our imaginations. Any shackles of limitation, oppression, and weakness will be broken by the beautifully inspiring and powerfully motivating conjunction of Jupiter, Uranus, and Mars in Taurus. If ever there was a time we could do more than reach for the stars and actually grasp them, it is now. In the Adonisian astrophysiology for August 2024, we see this triple power action of Jupiter, Uranus, and Mars hovering in our Mayan left shoulder joint of the fifth Vishuddha throat chakra of burdens carried out for others. The Vishuddha throat chakra of the turquoise frequency and medulla oblongata gets triply activated in August 2024, inducing the secretion of the sacred honey of the gods and divine nectar of immortality, the Amrita. This honey Amrita secretion endows us with the power of self-healing and the power to transmute any sickness, illness, or ailment into strength, restored health, and rejuvenated physical power. The way we accomplish this is by using the power of our voice to control the path of our life through the frequency of our words. Every word we speak is like a fence of frequency and vibration, the very elements of life and the universe. When we speak, we are forming frequential fences around the vibrations of our thoughts, so it is imperative we only give voice to our highest, benevolent, enriching, and empowering thoughts. As the Mayan Nawal left side of the body is magnetic, and Taurus is of the earth element, we have marvelous chances to ground the higher light of learning and consciousness that we desire in our lives. This is a month to speak kindly and well of each other, about each other, and to each other, as that is the best way to make sure we take advantage of these celestial placements above us and within us. The Adonisian Christos Energy Serpent 4 cardinal points. The eastern point and descendant, the new moon in Cancer. The new moon in Cancer will mark the peak of our heart's intuition. On August 4th, our sense of self will be at its strongest, as the new moon in Cancer will make our inner voice louder than ever. Cancer will rule the eastern ascendant of the 4 Adonisian lunar cardinal points for August 2024, where this month we will find our own strength and shine our personal power through Cancer. New moons mark new beginnings, a chance when a new door opens. Cancer is the sign of the occult, associated with the archetype of the mother, from whose womb of mysterious works we are all born. The new moon in Cancer inspires each of us to mother ourselves with the warmth of self-love, the calm and quiet of the home, and the small joys of life like home-cooked meals and time spent with loved ones. This new moon in Cancer marks a new day in domestic affairs and a new door that opens in our hearts for a stronger intuitional voice and gut instinct, a day of inner contemplation. In the Adonisian Astrophysiology of August 2024, the Sun and New Moon are conjunct in the feminine Mayan Nawal of Mother of the left elbow and Hindu fourth Anahata chakra of making space for self. We are all encouraged to make safe spaces for our true selves by listening to our inner voices, heart's instincts, and gut's intuition, which will speak louder and clearer than ever before, due to the fact that everything in our lives will feel uncertain and in a state of fluctuation. The status quo is being challenged, and the material comforts of our realities are being disrupted. So with the powers of the Sun and New Moon activating the green frequency of our hearts, we will be able to have trust that these changes are for the higher good, aimed at improving our lives. We can freely open our hearts without fear or reserve, as the Sun is illuminating the path being opened by the new doors of the new moon. Cancer is of the water element, which in nature amplifies the powers of electric currents. Electricity moves through water like a multiplying medium, as water carries and feeds electric currents, which is the very force that runs through our bodies and concentrated in our hearts. In August 2024, we can take the strong jolt of lightning striking our crown Sahasrara chakras from the 16 monthly number vibration of the Tower of Awakening and have it feed our hearts, fueling our ambitions and determination. The best way to do so is through meditation, as the new moon and Sun in Cancer on August 4th will powerfully amplify the electromagnetic currents of our hearts, which are made of more electric neurons than the brain, and manifested as a very real but invisible auric field of attraction. In silent stillness with eyes closed and an Adonisian mala in hand, use the powers of the new moon to activate your heart's toroidal field to expand your Taurus and naturally allow it to attract what you desire, instead of exerting physical effort and clocking in and out of a job. On August 4th, all you will need to do is clock into your meditation and clock out from material reality, and for 108 breaths, see your visions with greater clarity. Once done, open your eyes to see your dreams becoming steadily and persistently your new reality. The southern point and nadir, the waxing quarter moon in Libra. The waxing quarter moon in Libra of August 12th takes place in the nadir, or underworld, of our lives. This area of the underworld brings closures and endings, and Libra is the sign of relationships and partnerships. There will be a dual quality of endings and new beginnings with this waxing quarter moon, however, as the sign of Libra in the underworld indicates there will be closures and endings to relationships. The quarter waxing moon signifies growth and harmony. Many of our relationships can, instead of ending, reach a reconciliation and forgiveness of the past. If there is any hurt between you and someone else who matters to you, the waxing quarter moon in Libra on August 12th can help mend any hurt and restore the relationship back to health. Libra signifies the nadir underworld of the 4 Adonisian lunar cardinal points for August 2024, marking our point of despair and subconscious motivations. Any friendships, partnerships, or relationships that experienced a lack of harmony and balance will be spotlighted, revealing why they cause us despair and what the other person's subconscious motivations are. On this date, you can decide with certainty whether the other person is worthy of your time and energy, and if not, you can cut the cords. Or, if there is hope, you can establish new terms and conditions to keep the other person in your life by establishing new boundaries, as a Libra waxing quarter moon will compel you to express your new non-negotiables and needs. By the time the waxing quarter moon fully blooms into the full moon, you will know the destiny of your relationships, choosing to stay and work on it, or ending it once and for all. The Western Point and Descendant, the full moon in Aquarius. The Sturgeon full moon in Aquarius of August 19th spotlights our search for the ideal. We will all strive to use the disruptive and sudden changes of August 2024 to go after the ideal we desire in ourselves, relationships with others, our careers, love lives, truly, in every aspect of our lives. We will know the kind of role that fits us better in society, fully respecting our true natures. Aquarius denotes the Western descendant of the 4 Adonisian lunar cardinal points for August 2024, a place of true endings but also rebirths. We will be able to bring to the fore our true inner natures, speak our inner voice confidently, and assert our higher ideals in the face of any oppositions, but especially in our relationships. August 2024 is a month of social reevaluations, when we will have no choice but to divorce ourselves of the people, churches, bishops, and church communities that have misled us. Aquarius is all about achieving the higher awareness of the soul, which churches, bishops, priests, and church communities actively violate, dumb down, and shackle the intellect to stupidity. The full moon of August 19th will illuminate the higher knowing of your mind, your soul, with the sun in dominant and self-assertive Leo, helping us be true to our hearts, and the full moon opposite in Aquarius, the sign of higher ideals and consciousness. If you have been a member of a church, you will finally have the ultimate awakening, that you sold your mind, soul, and consciousness to the nut house, and the only way to free yourself will be to divorce yourself of that church and recommit to the church of you. For those of us who have already committed ourselves to our higher self and consciousness of God inside of us, this Aquarius full moon will reward us with the next step in our evolution for having chosen the forward thinking of self-guidance as opposed to the idiot backward thinking of going to church. Essentially, we become the self-mesmerizers Jesus Christ desired us to be, the self-movers, the self-freedom givers, as that is the only way we can achieve His love, not through the domain of churches, but within the church of self. The northern point and midheaven, the waning quarter moon in Taurus. The waning quarter moon in Taurus on August 26th is going to be the deep breath of fresh air and sigh of relief we have needed. Taurus will ground the situations that have been in flux all month long, ending the confusion and planting our newly achieved higher mind, soul, and consciousness into the ground. In August 2024, Taurus marks the northern midheaven of the 4 Adonisian lunar cardinal points of how others perceive you and your ambitions. All the sense of loss of direction, loss of focus will end, but so too begins the journey you will embark upon into the unknown. The unknown of the future is where your true treasure lies, and the changes and disruptions of August 2024 were necessary, especially if you refuse to make the changes required of you for your higher ideals and aspirations to have a chance. The Taurus waning quarter moon will restore certainty. The moon loves Taurus as much as Cancer, her rulership, and in Taurus, the moon is concerned with loyalty, stability, longevity, and establishing long-term partnerships based on truth, like true love, true self-expression, true promises. Truth and longevity will be the ambitions of our lives in August 2024, and this quarter waning moon will end your relationship once and for all if it does not fit these aims. If you began the summer of 2024, which begins with the sun in Taurus, with any relationship on quicksand or rocky uncertainty, the waning quarter moon will end it once and for all, for you, and against your will. Any relationship, whether friendship, marriage, or business partnership, which started the summer with talks of divorce, separation, or liquidations, will see it finalized come this quarter waning moon, even if there was a settling down of tempers or attempts at reconciliation. Waning moons mean just that, the waning or diminishing of emotions, love, commitment, and Taurus requires full commitment, unquestionable loyalty. If your relationship faltered even slightly during the summer, Taurus will have you walk away once and for all. Taurus in the northern midheaven is all about your own ambitions, so the waning quarter moon in Taurus will have you become loyal to you first and everyone else last, especially in relationships. This moon will have each of us recommitted to our highest self. On the upside, if your relationship has not been on the rocks, if you and your partner have been nothing but loving, honest, truthful, and undoubtedly committed, this quarter waning moon will see the end of the current phase and the deepening of your relationship, like marriage. So if you have been in a happy relationship, you could get engaged, married, or even buy a home together to establish a family. If you are single, you could meet the love of your life. Master number vibrations. Avoid making any major choices and instead of creating, focus on thinking, because the following master number dates are when the thoughts will count more than the deeds. Tuesday, August 6th, the master number 22 of the Fool. Use this date to make sure your concepts are well organized and practical, inspired by spirit but grounded in reality. This is the number of the master architect, the master builder, and holds so much power to turn your ideas and wishes into reality, but only if you have actually put the time, sweat, and energy into it. This number is not about the dream, much less about the thought. It is about the actual energy, time, and effort invested to turn the dream or thought into a tangible reality. Only once the thought is workable, testable, and successful does the thought count. So, do not be misguided by yourself into thinking your thoughts count. If anyone tells you, well, it was the thought that counts, they are full of crap and most likely know nothing of the hard work required to make a thought into reality. Only a fool thinks that thoughts count, which is the paradox of this number vibration and tarot, because the heart of this card and number is not the fool who thinks in dreams, but as it signifies, the architect who builds and turns thoughts into tangible realities. Tuesday, August 13th, the master number 29 of the Three of Wands. Be alert, stay at home, meditate, and use good judgment to accept the help of others with reputable business expertise, who have turned their thoughts into profits and thus made the thoughts count. If the thought has not turned into products that can be profited, it is not the thought that counts. In fact, it never is. Only deeds count, point blank. Be mindful of the fools who deal with dreams and thoughts, and only deal yourself with those who did more than just sat on their asses and thought. Accept the help of those who built something, turn their connection to spirit into a material and tangible reality. Saturday, August 17th, master number 33 of the Savior and 7 of Wands. This is not the day to work and be out and about in the world, but sit in perfect stillness. This master number date helps you solidify your sixth sense and begin to develop the seventh, the ability to leave the body at will. Turn your gaze away from others, society, and the world, and go within to do something better, going out and about in the astral realm. Thursday, August 22nd, Master number 38 of the Queen of Cups. Hold on to your butts. This date's master number potential is exponential, as not only does the date reduce to 38, but the day itself is a master number 22 of the Fool. Two powerful expressions of the importance to balance spirit with matter, the realm of thought with the physical. Everyone's relationships with every friend, family member, partner, and co-workers even will be placed under the magnifier glass. The conjunction of the master number 22 and 38 are going to put extra pressure on each of our relationships to test if they truly have the power to sustain you for the long run. The Queen of Cups will require that everyone in our life appreciates our true nature and supports our inner voice. If not, there is no hope that you will be able to unfurl your highest potential and bloom the star in you. This is one of the rarest vibrations to happen in 2024, requiring a lot more effort, more truth, and strength than any other. Emotions and the security of your emotions, so they are respected in your home and in your relationships, will define the challenges and tests of this date. Happening just days after the Taurus waning quarter moon in the northern midheaven of the Adonesian cardinal points. If your true emotions, nature, desires, and self-expression are not safe, they will not pass the test, and you could very well see the end of those relationships. On the other hand, if your relationship has been strong, secure in its honesty, authentic in its love for the true nature of the other, you could confidently proceed to the next and higher step and get married, buy a home, begin a family. This date is going to be the true and final test that determines if your relationship, friendship, or partnerships will make it or break it. Wednesday, August 28th, Master number 44 of the Disciple of God and the Four of Cups. On this date, the very hand of God is reaching out with the blessings to make your cup runneth over. You will be able to take the steps toward your better self and life. God will reveal to you just how. Realize any changes that have occurred in the last month were to get you healed on firmer ground and stronger footing. On this date, you must absolutely sit in Adonesian meditation for you to be able to reach back to the hand of God, conferring His healing and strength. If you do not, the divine cup of divine blessings will be lost, and you will feel God in you and your destiny. A truly divine sense of balance between you and others will prevail, as what was lacked before was your true self, your honesty, and authentic nature. Conclusion: the Adonesian Christos Kundalini elements. With the element of Earth dominating the planetary visitations in August, we have marvelous opportunities for grounding, rooting, and nurturing the growth of all these great possibilities for change, improvement, and the embarking upon the new. But there is one surprise. Mercury's retrograde will see him transit the unknown and mysterious sign of the Sextans. A sextant is a tool for astronomical measurements and is of the ether element. When Mercury, the Lord of communication, higher learning, and enlightenment, transits this sign due to his retrograde from August 6th through the 10th, we will be able to take this spiritual knowledge of the stars and God and put them into practice, turning the esoteric wisdom into applicable science with which we can expand our minds and intellects. Ether is the passive element upon which the mind of God is impressed upon with thought, forming out of the fertile but invisible essence of ether the seeable matter and objects we can observe and measure. This constellation signifies the intellectual mind of God, the celestial bishop. Thus, on this date, you must withdraw from your churches and put aside your priests and bishops and replace them with the ultimate and only priestly bishop you need in life, God in you. See yourself upon these dates as the visible measure of God manifested on earth, and as below, so above as below. You are the spirit and divinity you need. Have the conclusive cosmical powers in you revealed with the Adonisian astrology report to claim the invisible kingdoms of nature, unveiled with scientific foundation and substance through the revelatory processes of the Adonisian report, which form the divine secrets of the hidden depths of God's law, and how the psychological, physical, metaphysical, nominal, and phenomenal attributes of God's macrocosm are reflected back in you, the microcosm. Visit AdonesianAstrology.com and subscribe to stay in the know of future monthly horoscopes by subscribing, and have all the awareness that you require for the next couple of months already in your hands. Also, become a master of the infallible gospel and inaudible will of God by joining the Master's Level membership to proceed in the Occult Secrets Revealed cycle of progression from initiate to master. Join today. Also, maintain the majesty of the boundless perfection above through unification with the supreme power, elevating the physical corruptibility of the being through the self-purification of a 108 bead crystal mala, produced with the mysterious powers controlling the destinies of the world, to reclaim back in you the concrete, authentic source of your origin, and whence the assurance of your future state of perfection is founded. And until next time, trust and believe that it is okay to be you, the most beautiful you there ever was, there is, and that there ever will be, because you are not a story that can be told twice, and there will never again be a stage for you to perform, but this one, right here, right now. So be you, the most beautiful you.